Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about UConn beating Purdue 75-60, and now we're going to be touching on WrestleMania and talking about Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is GSMC podcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it just also really helps the show. So you should do it.
All right. He's like, you should do it.
You should do it. All righty.
So let's do this, Dave. This is one that's going to be a little interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So WrestleMania 40 weekend in Philadelphia was not just a celebration of wrestling, but a symphony of record-breaking events, star appearances, and thrilling matches. The city of brotherly love played host to one of the most electrifying weekends in WWE history, with each event contributing to an unforgettable spectacle. What started as a one-night-only wrestling card in New York's Madison Square Garden has now turned into a multi-day mania that takes bids from major markets to bring this annual traveling show to their cities. Birds are loud out here this morning. With that, I think you wanted to touch a little bit on Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns first, and then we can...
Wait, and before we did it, just talking about WrestleMania in general.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I wanted to talk about this, we had talked about the new television contract that
Mm-hmm.
the WWE had received, which was huge. But when you look at this event, it's not just wrestling entertainment. This is one of the elite American or global spectaculars there are. I mean, it's over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Night one, they had 72,000 people in attendance, which was a record. Follow that up with another 70-something thousand people the next day. Total, 2 nights, 145,000 people showed up at WrestleMania to watch it. I was kind of shocked. We were in a production meeting, and our basketball host, Nelson, was like just over the moon.
Yeah.
We're talking about celebrity sightings. We saw Nelson at WrestleMania. So, and he was talking about like what a huge, spectacular event it is. They had everyone there. I mean, when you start looking at some of the celebrities that showed, I don't know if you saw some of this. Some of the celebrities, I don't know who half of them are. Run down and see if you can give me somebody. Hit me with some of them here.
Okay, so let's see. I do know who Coco Jones is. Coco Jones, I believe, was in some Nickelodeon stuff.
Remember I said pop culture? No clue?
I'm pretty sure
who Coco Jones was. Okay.
Or Disney, one of those two. I know who Vanessa Hudgens is because she was also a Disney girl. She starred in High School Musical.
Didn't know who she was.
But I want to talk about
we're saving best for last. We're saving best for last.
Okay, best for last. Okay.
Your favorite.
Lil
Wayne was there.
Yeah, Lil Wayne was there. Dude Perfect.
Drew Barrymore in the back.
Yes. Dude Perfect, they have they do like trick shots and stuff on YouTube. And they're fun to watch. I like watching them. But the star of the show, Mr. Jason Kelsey, made an appearance at WrestleMania this weekend.
Remember I told you it was going to happen?
Yeah, and you can see him with his shirt off, with his belly out, and his jeans, and his Timberlands. That is a great photo right there. Great photo op.
I hate him. I hate his guts. Let me tell you why.
Jason Kelsey? How can you hate Jason Kelsey?
Let me tell you why I hate his guts. It's strictly out of envy. I love him. He is what is
He is.
considered a fat man, a fat NFL player, 300 pounder. He got better abs than I have. I don't have abs. He looks better than me. You know what? I take my shirt off, they go to black. They just turn it off. Like, nope, we just canceling the event. No, took his damn shirt off. We canceling it. Everybody go home.
Oh,
Kelsey,
gosh.
he's up there. He's flexing and everything else. It was awesome just seeing this.
Yeah.
The WWE puts on an event better than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
As far as they're not on the same level, but the best two events that I see as far as spectacles go, WrestleMania, the Super Bowl, those are the top two events I see in America. I mean, those two events are just over the top. You know, many other grand events like the Rose Bowl, Michigan, Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma, Yankees, Red Sox. There are great games out there, but for spectacle, for the over the top.
I don't know. You ever seen a Georgia Florida game?
Yes, I have actually. Can't even. Okay, Georgia, Florida, great game. Cannot touch that Ohio State Michigan game. And that's a great game. Georgia, Florida is off. Georgia, Florida is unreal, but it's behind that. That's what I mean. I mean, there's
yeah. It's a spectacle,
crazy.
though.
Oh no, that's a wonder. That is a game worth going to see. Like we're talking. Let's see, college football games, Georgia, Florida. It's definitely one of my top 10 games I go to. I mean, definitely one of my top 10 games I've seen in my college football traveling. But anyway, back to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I love what they did with this. They made it over the top, and it was just a spectacle. Anyway, go ahead and dive into what you were going to talk about with this.
Okay, so Cody Rhodes defeats Roman Reigns and Reign moves to a new story. So Roman Reigns' incredible reign came to an end at WWE WrestleMania 40 Night 2 as Cody Rhodes finished the story, but Triple H says that the tribal chief is about to embark on a new story of his own. Speaking to the WWE WrestleMania 40 Night 2 post-show press conference, Triple H praised Reigns following the end of his reign. There was a lot of banner about greatest of all time. You can make arguments for a lot of people in that, and there are a lot of metrics you can measure or opinions, whatever that is. If he is not he is one of, absolutely for certain, the greatest of all time, Triple H said. To do what he's done to overcome all the things in his career and the positioning and the stuff he had to get through and hung in there to get where he needed to be to deal with his physical issues and health issues, to overcome the pandemic, to overcome everything he had to deal with on his way here, and then to go out there and put a run like nobody has ever put on before, a run of epic moments, epic storytelling. You see that word cinema thrown out a lot. It's what it really is. It's changed. There are a few guys who have come along in our business where you say during that period of time that they were in, that they changed the industry. He changed the industry. I mean, that in front of the camera, I mean, that behind the camera, he's changed the industry. He's that good. Can't say enough good stuff about him. And then Triple H teased what's next for Roman Reigns. Triple H continued by stating that Roman Reigns finished one chapter on Sunday, but he will go on a new story that will blow people's mind. So.
Okay. Now, we don't normally dive into the wrestling world because, I call it scripted violence. It's not, it is scripted, it's choreographed. I never call it fake because wrestlers get beat up maybe more than any other sport, more than football, more than MMA. And the reason why that is because they get, like, if you're an MMA fighter, every 3 months or so, you have a fight. If you're a football player, you have a game once a week for a few months, and then you have an off season. Wrestlers don't get an off season. Wrestlers, they have sometimes, depending on where they're at, they will have a violent match during the day and another violent match that night. A lot of times they're wrestling 7 days a week. The WWE has kind of changed that up a little bit. So now wrestlers are having, instead of 7 days a week, they're still out there having matches at least 3 to 4 days a week. Violence after violence, your body takes a beating. But I was looking at this, and I'm a casual WWE fan, or a casual professional wrestling fan. Used to be a fan some years ago, but I still keep track of it. And I was really disappointed. I mean, WrestleMania was unreal, but the storyline, I wanted them to keep Roman Reigns' championship run a little bit longer. I know everyone was kind of like, Cody finishes his story, but I thought the best thing to do was to let Roman Reigns keep running until he passed Hulk Hogan. The record goes, Bruno Sammartino, 2,803 days is the longest reign as a WWE or WWF champion. Bob Backlund at 202, Bruno Sammartino, 2,803 days. Bob Backlund, 2,135 days. He also had 920 title defenses during that time. Number 3 was Hulk Hogan with 1,474 days as champion, 468 title defenses. And then now it's Roman Reigns, with his ends right around 1,300 days. I was expecting, I thought it'd be kind of cool to have it go on, somehow figure out a way that Roman Reigns still wins. He goes on, breaks Hulk Hogan's record, and then he loses to Cody after he breaks the record of passing Hulk Hogan. That's kind of what I was looking at. When you say great, something Triple H was talking about greatest of all time. When you say greatest WWE wrestler of all time, you definitely have to put Roman Reigns in that category. Do I put him in my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? I have Ric Flair on my Mount Rushmore, Andre the Giant, Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan. That's my 4, the 4 greatest of all time, all wrestling. But Roman Reigns is right outside that category.
Yeah,
in my eyes.
I am not a WrestleMania fan or watcher, but for me, when it comes to like greatest of all time, whatever, in whatever sport, if you're talked about so much that someone who doesn't watch WrestleMania has heard the name Roman Reigns and know who he is, that just proves the point that, yes, I feel he is considered to be one of the greatest.
Exactly. Because ultimately, that's what makes someone great. The wrestling fan, they're the mark. They're always going to tune in. They're going to buy the T-shirt. They're going to put up the poster. The casual fan, like we were talking about Nelson, being at WrestleMania. He's not a diehard wrestling fan, but you have a chance to go to that spectacle. You go to it. I'm not a diehard wrestling fan, but I have to see what happens. This is especially this one. Faith can't even spell wrestling. Of course you can. I just mean
Yes, I can.
Of course you can. You are incredible. I just mean it as in like you're not you are the polar opposite of a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But you know about WrestleMania, you know about Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, then you mix in The Rock, his cousin, his other cousins, the history of his family, and everything else. I mean, that's a big thing. What they did at WrestleMania though was unreal. You had the Rhodes family, you had the bloodline, which is the Rock and Roman Reigns' family, and how they did it with John Cena coming out, with the Undertaker coming out. I mean, the Rock was there, everything was there. I didn't think they would be able to put together such a spectacle, but they did it, and
Yeah, and it was huge.
It was massive.
It was so big.
Massive. And even going into it, the last few days before WrestleMania, they were setting attendance records as people were just going to the event, selling out event after event after event, just leading to WrestleMania. I don't have tickets to WrestleMania, but I'm going to go to NXT. I'm going to Raw, or I'm going to SmackDown. I'm going to watch these events. 145,000 people or something like that showed up over 2 days to watch these events. And that's the cool thing about WrestleMania. You get tickets to both days. That's a full-on weekend excursion of, over the top them. So, just saying that. And then I know there's another story. We don't have, because we kind of covered it all in one big topic here. But man, and this is the first WrestleMania without the McMahons in charge. And it's, the McMahons created the WWE. And this is the one where the McMahons really weren't involved. The dad, Vince McMahon, he's out. He's kind of pushed to the side because of some very controversial things. You got to read on some of that yourself. I don't think we got clearance to talk about some of the things that he was accused of. But yeah, I mean, you worry like with no McMahon involved, it's going to take a step back. No, it took a step forward. This is probably the most over the top one of all of them. So it was amazing. Matter of fact, I'll be looking at the rest of this stuff and all week because it was that awesome. So
I think Tate for next year should take all the GSMC Sports podcast hosts to WrestleMania next year.
Would you go?
Yes, I would go. Group trip. I would go.
I like that one.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take another quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about John Calipari's stunning move to Arkansas shows how desperately he wanted out of Kentucky. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.